Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, we are mocking a existing-ish USB controller at the protocol level. The context is, I bought this controller the other day, this GameSir G7 Pro. It's got TMR sticks, it's got 4 paddles, which is pretty sick, and it's got a gyro for aiming. Pretty cool. Psych, not very cool, because the gyro only comes out as like in the Windows software. You have to like tell the controller to output 2 of the 3 gyro axes, right? It doesn't even output all of them at once, it can't. It will only export 2 of them, and as a mouse, right? The idea is that like if I were to use gyro for aiming, usually you would either like put it as like an extra piece of the joystick, like maybe for like fine joystick movements, or as like a mouse device. And instead of like writing like a proper driver that exports these pieces for you, they're like, in our configuration software, you just configure it the way you want. Which is like maybe a reasonable take from them, but it makes me mad because I think that I should have my controller act like a controller, not like a mouse. That's just my hot take. And so, what I want to do is I want to like basically take the gyro that is turned into a mouse and turn it back into a gyro. Take the paddles that are turned into a keyboard, turn it back into paddles. Now, yesterday, I thought that we didn't have this option. Because I couldn't find a way to make Steam recognize like a more advanced controller that wasn't like a subset of an existing controller, right? So like you can definitely have Steam see a like a DualShock 5 PlayStation controller, and you can like configure the paddles and the gyro to like behave however you want for the specific game, or maybe like pass those things through if you're playing a game like Deadlock that has Steam input support. But I didn't think that there was a controller that matched the feature set of this one perfectly, other than the Steam controller, and I didn't want to like reverse engineer the Steam controller protocol. Luckily, someone in the comments from yesterday's videos pointed out that that is not true. There is actually a protocol that is implemented in SDL. It was merged in July 15th, 2025, by the way, which is like after the last time we looked at this. And it is like an open format that basically like lets you dynamically configure these things, right? So we can, you know, we can like say within the USB protocol part of it, like, hey, I have these features, and I want them to work, right? So, I believe this is made by these guys, Handheld Legends, and these guys actually seem kind of fucking sick, dude. It looks like what they do is they sell like mod components, and like actually like they like have boards that basically like completely redo the entire internals of like existing controllers. And as part of this, I think that if I had to guess, I would think that they're like, hey, we have all these like controllers with different features. We would like to be able to like use those things, but we don't want to have to like write a new driver every time. This music's a little loud, right? So I think they basically are just saying like, hey, let's get this shit merged, we'll write a spec, we'll do the right thing, and now we don't have to like interact with these things ever again, right? And so I got Claude yesterday to write like a proof of concept Python script. And it turns out that we can, in fact, if we like mock this protocol correctly, we can get something that shows up in the Steam input dialog that has all 4 paddles and a gyro. Fucking sick. And so the goal for today is to like figure out how to do that, right? Let's fucking make it happen. There's this thing. Yesterday we were walking this thing at the level of uinput. So uinput is this like Linux feature that lets you basically feed input events to a like input device from user space, right? It turns out that the way a lot of these drivers work is they don't consume input devices, they consume like raw USB almost. I'm saying USB, it's not really the right term, but it's like close enough, right? In reality, there's kind of like the DualShock 5 controller. DualShock 5 is gonna have, you know, he's one of these, he's got like the little touchpad here and stuff, and he's got like his gyros and whatever, right? The PlayStation, triangle, X, square, circle, whatever, right? This thing can be wired, right? So this is like USB here, but he can also be like a Bluetooth device. How do you draw the Bluetooth logo? It's like, it looks like a fucked up B or something in a circle, right? And there's some like HID layer that like originated from the USB specification that Bluetooth kind of like adopted, right? So it's kind of like there are concepts in this thing that map very, very cleanly to USB packets, but like technically it's not exactly the same because we're kind of working like one layer up, which is convenient because it means that we don't have to like provide like a USB device exactly. We just have to provide something that like mimics the interface close enough, right? So we're kind of coming in at this level. There's this thing called UHID, I think is what it's called. And what we were doing yesterday was kind of like one layer above this, right? Then this gets into like input. And you would usually write a driver that like either parses the HID descriptors, or this could come from like a direct USB device in many cases, and this would export like input, right? But we're going to be working at this layer. Yeah, USB is just a transport for HID. Right now, Bluetooth or event I2C can transfer HID as well. Yeah, it makes sense, makes sense. So by the fact that obviously people who are implementing controllers want to be able to like reuse their code between these things, it kind of like makes like this nice place for us to hook in, which is like very convenient. So yeah, that's the plan, is take this like S input spec, which has an SDL driver associated with it. Let's see if we can find, did I open the spec anywhere? Format here. So try to implement this thing, which is like what are we talking, just for like order of, you know, we're talking like byte by byte descriptors almost, right? Like we're talking pretty low level. But once we do this, we should be able to adapt like any malformed controller into something that like Steam can support, which is pretty sick, right? Any controller that we ever get in the future, that like doesn't have a Steam driver but does have the data available to us, we can like basically turn into this thing, which is that's kind of like pretty sick. That's the goal. That's the goal. So the first thing to do, I think, is figure out how to make a fake HID. You know, that's the goal. That's step number 1. So I think we are going to make something that's like, I'm just gonna try to get like close to main, I guess. Function main. Virtual HID, we'll call it. And this thing is almost certainly going to be some sort of file descriptor. I don't know what he's going to do yet, but he's going to be some sort of file descriptor. We're going to initialize this thing, surely. Right? And what are we going to do? I think that it's probably very similar to what we did for uinput yesterday, where there's probably some file at like dev uhid that you just open, and that like creates a new thing. Yeah, nice. Perfect. So can we look at like maybe Linux kernel docs for this thing? Okay. UHID is accessed through a character or a miscellaneous device. The minor number is allocated, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. So this is, if a new device is detected, use this device with HID subsystem, then you need to open UHID once for each device you want to register. Okay. All further communication is done by reading or writing UHID event objects. So there's no like fancy ioctl. There is just read and write. Perfect. So I guess we're probably going to need to like import some header for this thing. Probably UHID, if I had to guess. Let's see if that works. Yep, okay. And then, so for now, all we have to do is just open the thing, I think. Dev UHID. As I understood, you want to pretend as a different HID class, you need to modify the USB interface script to say that you are not a mouse but something else. Yeah, I think that is contained in this descriptor here, right? I think that probably what's going to happen is it'll become apparent pretty quick, I hope, if, like, what we need to do based off what is coming in to us, I think. We'll see, though. I could be wrong there. So here, we open up the file descriptor, and what do we want to do? We probably want to create a new device, right? That's probably the first thing. And then maybe what we do is we just try to, like, there's probably some utility that we can use to, like, read HID data, but maybe we can also just, like, cat the file. Like if I go, like I have a controller plugged in here, right? If I go and I say dev input by ID, and I try to just like cat this thing, like this gets me like the raw packets ish from this thing. Oh, great. That's cool. Of course. What else was I expecting? Can I make that thing world writable? Hold on. Dev input by ID. Hold. That thing is HID raw 2. I am looking on my other account. One sec. I don't even know where those things live. Hold on. Dev HID raw 2. There we go. Yeah, so this thing's not writable by me, so we can just fix that. Sudo chmod a plus rw dev hid raw 2. All right. Okay, good news. So it does look like just by catting that thing, like something should happen, right? So as long as we like set up, if we like just create the device and start implementing the read call on it, we should see like requests come in, I would expect. Maybe we're supposed to like send out interrupt packets. My recollection of USB, which is probably wrong, is there's like descriptors, which kind of defines your device. Then there's like interfaces, which I think are probably like a detail that doesn't leak into this abstraction. Because I assume that like these interfaces, one of them would define like I'm an HID device. So we're kind of like assuming that we're one of these, I think. And then like interfaces have like ports, if I remember correctly. And those ports can do, what are they called? Like interrupt transfers. So like device to host, where the host is supposed to like poll for available interrupts at some polling frequency. There's like bulk transfers for like when you're doing USB, like when you've got like a thumb drive that you plugged in, right? And then there's like, I think isochronous, which is like, Latin for like even time, right? So this is for like if you have like a USB microphone, I think that you're doing like isochronous transfers or something. So I would assume that like we're kind of modeling data that would come over an interrupt packet, right? Every time I move the joystick, that's like an interrupt. And then maybe there's an interrupt from host to device for when it wants to like request information, which is like a thing that it might want to do sometimes. I'm not really sure. Or like if it wants to like rumble the joysticks, maybe it's sending an interrupt to the device, right? They can go both ways. That's just like my guess, right? Because like bulk doesn't make sense, isochronous doesn't really make sense. I guess like theoretically you could have like timed updates of the stick or something, but like you wouldn't want to do that. I don't think that's like too much. Like why? So I suspect that like once we register our device and we start catting, like maybe the host will send us interrupt, or maybe like it will like request for us to give data, right? It might be like, hey, I'm supposed to poll for data, or maybe we are just supposed to feed interrupts every once in a while. I'm not sure. We'll find out. We'll find out. I guess what would also be nice is if we could like get metadata about the existing controller. Is that a thing you could do? Like hid raw like get descriptor. You know what I mean? Like, is that a thing that you can do? Because like, surely there is a device descriptor in some way, right? How do we retrieve this thing? Get report descriptor, right? So this is probably what we want to do first. Probably we want to, yeah. Let's ask. Let's try to get the descriptor of an existing controller just to like make sure that we are guessing how this works correctly. Because I assume that reading will give you interrupt data. Yeah. So it looks like this controller is just always spamming data. And so like if we call read on it, like we're just going to get it. But like the actual information that comes from this thing is going to come from this. That's one option. The other option is to try to just get like an SDL controller running. And then like try to like hook our thing in and then see what the SDL driver does. But I think that's for later. Okay, let's just like try to make the device. Let's just try to make the device, and if it shows up, that's like a good initial success. Okay. So I guess we have Linux uhid. Was it input 2? Create 2 rec. But like all of these things are subsets of uhid event, right? Perfect. So this is the thing we're making. Type is going to be Linux uhid create 2. And then I assume that like there's some field in here, union is create 2, presumably, right? If we're using create 2, it's got to be create 2. And then we just have to fill this thing in. So like what's in here? I would like to open up the Linux kernel somewhere. That is always the easiest way to do this thing, I believe. Easiest way to get information about these calls. One sec. Boom. And then we have uAPI, uhid.h somewhere. Okay. Name. Okay. Name, fizz, unique, read size, bus, vendor, product, version, country. Okay. So if we are trying to be an S input device, and then this is the descriptor. The descriptor lives here. It seems like. I assume that this RD size goes with RD data here. I would assume. Like I assume that this is like the length of stuff that could be in this. These look like when you do like LSUSB on a thing. Like you get a vendor and product. Try a USB HID dump tool. That sounds nice. Yes. I may try that. Right, so here you have like vendor and product. So these are going to go in here. Bus, I would assume, is like a mock for which USB bus you're on, maybe? I'm not sure what that means. Is this defined anywhere? UHID documentation UHID. ION UHID. Okay. Does this tell us what this means? So we're looking for bus. UHID example. Oh, fuck yes. Perfect. All right. So yeah, okay, I see. So this is like an enum telling us that we're a USB device. Perfect. Perfect. Easy. Easy, dude. Okay. Where were we? Man. I didn't copy it into like the system clipboard. My bad. Okay. So I guess here we have name is undefined. We have to populate this later. We need a description. So I guess can we copy paste this description? Maybe. Right? Maybe we have to adapt this to like remove some of the USB-ness from it, but maybe this is just like works byte for byte the way it is. So let's start here with the like what is the thing called? S input HID descriptor. Like we'll probably have to modify this eventually for like to provide like exactly which buttons we support. But for now, this is pretty good. Can we do a little find and replace for a second? Anything that says M, no. M, delete that shit. Okay. And then this all is this is just like a slice of U8, I guess. Boom. Boom. And then I believe that there is like a testing like device ID we are allowed to use for this thing. I think I saw that maybe here. Device ID this. So the device vendor. Bus USB seems reasonable. This is going to be we need to copy paste in the description here, right? So we need to do Well, here they're using a pointer. Am I crazy? Oh, this is the old version. Okay, this is the old version. The new version is you copy it in, but this is going to be the s input HID descriptor len. Um, boom, 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 boom. And then we need to specify RD data is also undefined. And then we need to like put these things in right the fuck now, you know? How did I fuck up bus? Here we go. Okay, okay. Okay, cool. So now this is our create request, maybe we call it. And then we are going to say like, hey, create rec create to name. We're gonna copy in mem copy in hello, like my device, maybe. And this is going, I guess, like name. Let's do this. 0 name len with name, and then I guess it's probably 0 terminated because like C strings. So we need to do like create rec u create to name at name len is 0 to null terminate that shit. To null terminate that shit. And then we need to do the same with RD data. So we're doing into RD data from 0 to this. We are inserting the descriptor, probably. Easy. And then we should just be able to be like, write that shit, baby. So this is going to be std_mem as bytes. The create rec into the file descriptor. Easy. All right. And then we return the file descriptor for other things that we might want to do later. Vendor driver is what your vendor product is what your driver is trying to match during probing. Yeah, I mean, presumably the SDL stuff is doing that as well, right? Like for us, we almost don't want a driver to match the vendor product, because of the fact that you don't want like a Linux driver consuming this thing. We want like our driver, our like user space driver consuming the thing. That's my understanding. And then also, fuck, I had another thought. I just lost it. Dude, I hate that shit. Yeah. You want what's it called? UDEV rules probably can match vendor product IDs to like if you know that like DualShock 5 controllers should be user readable because you want the SDL driver to work. You might want like a UDEV rule that matches on the vendor product IDs to like basically do the chmod that we have to do to make this thing work at all. User space driver tells the kernel what ID product match rate. Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I kind of assumed that they enumerated HID raw devices and then just picked the one they wanted. But maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea yet. We haven't looked at the SDL side. Okay. So this should, if we like construct this thing, VHID is virtual HID init. And then let's ditch the virtual Xbox pad for now. And then let's just do like this. And then like if this runs, right, this thing is not accessible by us, right? Yeah, so we need to give a little permissions change to that thing. Perfect. For now. Okay. So that thing worked. And then the question is like if we see like dev HID raw star, was one of these created right the fuck now? This one, HID raw 11, right? So presumably we should be able to like just cat that thing. And nothing's happening. Okay. So I think that what we want to do is we want to kind of like in a loop read from this thing. Eventually we'll like hook up to an event loop or something. But for now, let's just kind of ignore everything else and just do like VHID. I guess we want to like read do you think we can read like many requests at once? Probably, right? So maybe we want like uhid inputs is going to be like, let's say 20 of Linux. What did they say the thing was that we're using? Everything's a uhid event, right? I think that's what they said. And then let's do like a IO read from this thing with uhid inputs as bytes, probably. Okay. And then we have like n bytes is this, and entries is n bytes over size of Linux uhid event. Cool. And then we can say for uhid inputs 0 to n entries, let's just like log the thing. I guess we'll call it rec, maybe. All right. Okay, so stuff is happening. Type 4, type 5. Okay, so let's actually try to log a little bit better. So, where are these types defined? Create to, like, what is this? Okay, here we go. So we have uhid event type. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Someone's just spamming open and close on that thing. That's kind of funny. Okay. So let's just try to map to these, I guess. Oops. I need to copy to the system clipboard. I always forget. Okay, so maybe it's like switch rec. And if it's, oopsies, one of these guys, these are like, this is like put Linux dot in front of it, jump to the end, put an arrow, and make the string of find dot yoink end paste quote go again. There we go. And then the other one's unknown. Unknown. Okay, this is the string. And then we are printing rec of this. All right, something like this. All right, so just a few open closes, right? So presumably, I guess the next thing to do would be to like get SDL to try to open this thing, right? Because like the SDL driver will kind of like inform us of the usage of this thing. So I think that's the next piece. I think that's the next piece. Oh yeah, there is one start and output. That's a good point. That's a good point. I guess we should like, okay, so these uhid opens and stuff, like what are we supposed to do? This is when the HID is open, that is the data the HID provides is read by some other process. You may ignore this event, but it's useful for power management. Got it. This is if the HID descriptor wants to send raw data to the IO device. Okay, so this might be interesting in some way. But really just like, and then what is start? Start just means that the thing is created, right? Yeah. So really the only thing interesting in this entire sequence is that someone sent output one time, but like we don't even know if that person is relevant. I guess we could close Steam, and it would be interesting to know if that like matters. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. So we can assume that like because Steam was open, it was like probing the controller in some way, right? But I would like to use SDL because we have the source code for that. So let's do that. Let's look at SDL. So let's clone the latest and greatest. Unless, yeah, because there's this like gamepad test tool, if I remember correctly, that they have. Git pull. Am I in the right environment already? August 1. Yeah, that's today. Okay, sick. So does that mean that I have like a shell in here that already? Nope, fuck me, I guess. With import Nix packages. If I want to build this thing, I'm gonna do that by making a shell that has inputs. Dude, what is happening? Fucking blinds are rattling around. Inputs from packages, probably SDL3 would be my guess what this thing was called. Probably. And then let's do a little make dir build, cd build, cmake dot dot. Hold on. Arm.jar build, because this is like an old build. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Make dir build, cd build, cmake dot dot. Hopefully everybody's just happy. This is like the best and worst thing about working on Nix, by the way, is like you just like write down, I want to compile this thing, and like it gets all the dependencies for you. But then the downside is when it doesn't work, it's like fucking annoying. Does the Nix file have to be manually written? Can you just like Nix init packages? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how to fucking use this operating system. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some way. I think a lot of the features are gated behind like flakes, which every time I check haven't been released. So like I don't know. This is just the way that I've learned to do it. I don't really care that much about it, if that makes sense. Like it's like convenient, so I use it, but I don't really like want to learn like the Nix language and all of their like parameters and stuff, you know what I mean? It's just like I just use it if it works. Okay, there's like something that's like some controller test executable. Test controller? Yeah, make test controller. There we go. Can we maybe speed this up a little? Parallelism? Give him a sec, he's thinking. But once this works, then I think that we should be able to see something. I don't know what. I guess we're hoping to see that he tries to open our HID device. I guess that's what we're kind of hoping to see. Test controller. Like, oh, fuck. It doesn't have the runtime library paths. Fuck, that's so fucking annoying. Grep. So he probably wants like some like Wayland shit. Oh my god. I forgot about this shit. This is the worst part about using Nix, let me tell you. Can we just take this entire string? Hold on. Lives text. Hold. Where did I not copy that anywhere? Fucking okay, we go back from being like hell yeah NixOS to fuck you NixOS. Cause what the how do I say this? SDL is like DL opening a bunch of libraries. And so if it were to like link them properly, then it would do the right thing. But because it's DL opening, they have to be in the library search path, and like every single Nix library is just like in a different spot. You know what I mean? Okay, macro is like delete, find capital L, jump to end of word, replace with a colon. You know, it's like, yeah. Maybe the macro is write XX, find space, replace with this. Go again, go again, go again. And then we'll search for dash L just so that I'm confident that my cursor is always at a dash L boundary. And we're just gonna literally just every single thing, every single search path in our entire thing. We're just taking them all. I don't give a fuck. LD library path is cat lib dot text. Libs dot text? There we go. Much better. Okay. So, does this guy open my HID API device ever? Right? So let's unplug my real controller. Is my other program even running? No, it's not. So let's run this thing. Hold. He was mapping. He was trying to open the real controller as well. So we'll do this. Fuck gamepad. You know what I'm saying? Comment this all out. Okay. So now this thing should open, and when I run this thing now, okay. So he does see a 32 button controller with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 axes. More buttons over here, more axes over here. My device here. So this is really promising, right? He sees the device descriptor, but none of the like inputs are doing what we want. Okay. So now if I plug in the original controller again, because I think that will be the easiest way to test this. Right? If I run this again, he is going to see this real controller, but can I tell him to look for the other one? Like this test, controller test, he's like, I want him to pick a different controller here, right? Like they're both available, surely. So how do I force it? Let's look at the source code. Can I make it pick one? Main. Is there like an argument that I can pass in? The fuck? There's no main? This thing is like app init, probably. Right? Yeah, okay. They've got some sort of like SDL infrastructure. Mappings, virtual, show mappings, index. Index looks promising. Yeah. No, this is the original. Index 2. Index 3, like 11. Like, what the fuck is going on here? That index argument is doing nothing. What? Okay. Mappings, virtual gamepad index. So this, I see. So he's like looking for num controllers. Is my program running? It is. Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, oh, gamepad 5, gamepad 6. They're just really big numbers. Oh, wait, okay. Player index was 0 and 1. Gamepad index 5, 6. So maybe it's 5? No. Fuck me. Gamepad 5 and added. Gamepad my device. Dev input event 2. Player index 0. Player index 1. So like, I don't understand why it's always it's showing 6 in the corner here. So it should be 5. So why is this like, maybe I'm missing arguments? Can I type help? Maybe I need maybe they're saying like virtual 5? No? Maybe this thing's just fucking dog shit? This is annoying because it would be nice if I could like, I want to use the original controller as like a proxy. You know what I mean? Like, is there a button I can press to pick the different one? Fuck off. Ah! 5. No. Dude, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Nine. Like, this is doing nothing. It's doing nothing. Can we just mod it? Num. What was it? Gamepad index? Can we at least, like, check? Gamepad index. Like, fuck off. You know? You know? What are we running? It's make. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like 5. It's fucking working. So like, hello? Like, why is it just making the wrong? I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. What is the number when you do it with the other one unplugged? Good question. 5. It does say 5 in the top right here. Dude, I'm so software, man. Alright. That's okay. So like clearly this thing just isn't working. How do they like create window is this thing, screen is this thing, like title is this thing? Where do they get like the like name of the guy? You know what I mean? Like somewhere they are writing the name somewhere. Set controller controllers. I feel like it's here, right? I feel like the index. Hear me out. I'm just gonna write 1 there real quick. Okay. Printf gamepad index this num controllers this and then new line gamepad index num controllers. Like, what are we fucking doing, man? Num controller 0, right? So these things are being like lazily initialized, and then he doesn't know how to handle this, right? Because gamepad index is not getting like stored somewhere. So we just need to make it so that whoever is getting polled later on this thing, on like iterate, probably here they're like checking for new gamepads. Right? Like something like this. Maybe on event. Maybe there's an event like gamepad added. Yeah, right. Handle gamepad added. So here we basically want to filter by which one we want, I guess. Like here, set controller like should only be if something, right? If ID is equal to 5. I think it was that, right? Printf ID this. Okay. Make. Run. There we go. We got there. We got there. Oh, interesting. And then when I started pressing buttons on my G7 Pro, it switched to that one. So it's like whichever one has inputs on it, it gets priority. So we didn't need to do any of this, as long, which is funny. Okay. Okay. So now we should make it so that when we open up our program, we consume the real gamepad so that this test utility doesn't like eat it, doesn't like see inputs from it. So now we see my device. I press buttons here. Nothing is happening now, which is perfect. And now we need to figure out how to basically adapt our buttons into this thing. So SDL recognized us like immediately, but it took us a while to figure out how to do it. So SDL test setup, we'll call it. And then now we should be able to, dude, that was like 15 minutes of like literally nothing. It's so funny. Let's try to map the outputs. So this, we have 2 sources of truth here, right? We have the SDL source code, beautiful. And then we also have the like S input docs, right? So we have input formats. So input report 2 command contains command various response data. So this is like if somebody asked us for something, we have like a response here maybe. Report 1 seems like the interesting one, right? When somebody asks, like we should maybe just periodically just spit out report 1 would be my guess. And here they're kind of defining the byte format of this thing, right? So what we plug status is defined somewhere else. But it looks like what we can do is if we wanted to try to basically like press the A button when the A button was pressed on the original controller, that's like probably a thing we can do. Let's refactor our app a little bit so that we can pull, like we have 2 file descriptors and we want to like read from both of them, I think. So this is just a little quick like const loop var loop is a stood IO event loop. Initialize with chain buff. This is like if somebody wants to do like inject their own events to the event loop, they live here. So I don't really give a fuck. Then we can go like while true. We want to like register each thing with the loop, right? So VHID file descriptor, this gets registered with the loop. This thing needs to be tried, I think. This is like oh fuck. Okay. So this is the handle. And then we have what ID comes out when we see this thing. So we're gonna just say 1, fuck it. Read true, and I don't give a fuck about write asynchronous events, so we'll say this is false. And then we'll register the other guy as well. So here is the gamepad. Like this, and this is ID 2. So while true, we're like loop poll forever, or else continue if we get something that's like null. Const event is this thing, switch on the event. And if the event is 1, we do all of the stuff that we were doing here. Boom, boom, boom. And if the event is 2, we want to process events from that thing, which was being done in this loop down here before. So before we were propagating outputs, this is going to look a little different, but at the very least, we should be able to log inputs from this thing. So inputs buff is like this, and then this was all output mapping, so we don't care about any of this stuff yet, I think. So let's just log events come in. While actions next, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So here, the idea is that once we get these guys, we should be able to, like, basically look for button presses and feed them on or something. Try here, maybe? Switch event. Right, so there's the else case, where, like, if it's neither of those 2 events, then something went terribly wrong. Alright. So now when I press A, we see some stuff come in. Perfect. And so we now have this like protocol. So we should be able to like say maybe we have like virtual HID, like make event. And the event is, this is like an interrupt packet, right? So from the UHID spec, we have like a command to write something, right? We have input 2. You must send this. This event contains a data payload. This is the raw data that you read from your device on the interrupt channel, right? So I think we just like write an input 2, right? So we're gonna say like we have output buff. Presumably we can't send more outputs than there were inputs. So these things are mapped 1 to 1. And these are creating, I guess, UHID events. And then let's say that we have like outputs is going to be a array list of Linux UHID event from like that live in this output buffer. Okay. So we're gonna be like, okay, make me an event based off the action that came off this guy. And we're gonna put this in outputs, I guess. Append bounded. Catch unreachable. I think that this literally cannot fail based off the code we've written. It's literally impossible. And we just need to then make what this make event is. And then once we have this thing, I guess it's just like one write call. We write the outputs items as bytes. And we just write this to the file descriptor. Something like this. So we just need to like figure out how to parse these events now, right? So we have some action that came in, and we are trying to create maybe an optional event, right? Because like maybe we don't know how to parse most of these yet. Cool. So this thing is like, or else continue, I guess, right? Because this thing might not return anything. And this thing looks like he could fail. Maybe he can't, but we'll see. And we're basically looking for the action digital. Let's like just, we'll only worry about like a certain, like a button press for now. So this is return null here. And then we're switching on params like button. And let's only worry about like the A button. Everything else we don't give a fuck about, I think, right now. Okay. And so in this spec now. Oh, this is actually wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. We are not making one event per button press. We are exporting like the entire current state of the program. Right? So this API is like completely wrong. This should more be like we have an event is a Linux UHID event. Like output event, right? And we are, I guess maybe we just have like a descriptor. So we know that we have like a 63 byte descriptor. So maybe that has like an abstraction himself, right? We have like a S input, like input report maybe. And this guy just has like 64 bytes in here. Right? And then we have like functions to be like set button state. Right? And this is going to be we're going to take in a button press maybe. Do we have dir here? We do, yeah. And so this is like S input report. Yeah, that seems a little bit more reasonable, right? So maybe we have like an init function here that returns like a valid thing. You know what I mean? I think init pinned makes more sense because this is like a fairly large piece of data, so I'd prefer to not like, you know, have to copy it out. Zig will copy it out. It may optimize that in release mode, but in debug mode it won't. And so I'm like, I might as well just write code that makes sense in debug mode. There's no reason not to. Can I copy paste this? I can, but it's going to be a little bit of a disaster, but that's okay. Copy. Yeah, that's not helpful. That's not helpful. Okay. Okay, we'll just write it manually. So it's data 0 is 1. Is this how we want to do it? Does it make more sense to do like a mem set here? Mem copy into self data, like just a thing that we write out? Is that easier? Can we do that? Is this allowed? It might be. Okay, so we have report ID. We got plug status. I think there's, oh, that was the HID descriptor. Okay. Plug status. Plugged in, no battery. Boom. We got charge percent. This can be 0 because we're not plugged in. Charge. Then we got buttons. So if any, I think everything is unpressed by default would be my guess here. So we can just do 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. All right. 0 is center. Perfect. So these are int 16. So 0 in signed int is 0, I believe. Like, I think the byte representation is still 0. So I think we're chilling. This is left x. This is left y. Right x, right y. Okay. Trigger L, trigger R. Trigger L, trigger R. Looks like 0 everywhere is fine. IMU timestamp. So this is interesting. I don't know what to do about this. We're going to write 0 right now, but I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Dude, this is so stupid. We should just memset 0, right? This is so stupid. Memset self data is 0. And then we only have to edit the report ID, right? That's literally the only thing that matters. So, like, everything else is just 0, right? So fuck it. Report ID. Yeah, fuck it. Okay. So now if we want to, like, say set button state, we, like, switch on the bit offset of each button, probably. Right? So we get, like, bit offset is this. And I assume that this is going to, they're, like, defined somewhere, right? So buttons format. South is 0. South, east, west, north. Okay, so south, 0, 0. East, 2. Oh, no, this is mask. Bit is here. So southeast, west, north, up, down, left, right. Up, down, left, right. But these up, down, left, right are not buttons in our world. I think they come in as axes presses. So we'll leave these. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. And then else, we'll just return. Like, I don't give a fuck right now, you know what I mean? We'll just implement the first 4 buttons. I think that makes sense. So this is going to be in button start offs is data 4, I think? But 0, 1, 2, 3. So we start at 3. So maybe we have, like, buttons is self data from 3 to 6. 3 to 7? 3 to 7, inclusive. So, because there's 32 potential buttons. And then can we just, like, set this thing? So const byte index is bit offset %8, bit index, like, so, this is divided by, this is mod, and we just have, like, buttons at byte index, or it depends on if this is, like, switched on which direction. This is just set button pressed. We'll track the, like, button state somewhere else, probably. And this is literally just, like, yeah, set button press. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Yeah, so this is just or equals 1, like, by bit index. Probably something like that. It's probably something like that. Okay, and so this means that we need to, like, store controller state somewhere, right? So we're gonna have, like, south. I guess, like, we're gonna have, like, a button mask somewhere, right? Something like that. And this is going to be like, I don't know, whatever, however many like buttons we have. I guess this is more like a dynamic bit set or like a static bit set. Nice. Or an enum set seems like the easiest thing. If the enum is present, then this is 1, and if it's not, it's 0, and we can just say button in here. Beautiful. Oh, that's so easy. That's so easy. Cool. Cool. So then we'll do like every frame. Every time we get data in, we like construct a new report based off of the controller state. So set button dir is going to be on the controller state button dir, right? And he's gonna be like self button mask remove. Does this fail if it's not in there? Removes the key from set. It just calls it unset, so it seems like it should be fine. Button switch on dir. So if this is down, this is not in the set. This is in the set. And if it's up, it's not in the set. Beautiful. And then we just need to convert this mask. I like the face you do after drinking the brew, which I guess is a mug of cold instant coffee. Is it always is it always like, I don't like it? Yeah, I guess it is. I don't like it. Coffee's gross. It tastes like poo and dirt. Dude, it's so funny. That's like, I've never noticed that, but I've always made fun of people who make that face after shots. I'm always just like, alcohol is like fine, it doesn't bother me. But I guess I'm like the girl who needs chase after doing a shot of tequila, but every time I take a sip of coffee all day, every day. That's so funny. I've like never thought about that. That's awesome. Okay, so we have like button state somewhere. Like, I guess this is like state. Var state is controller state, which needs to be initialized somehow. So can we just like return button mask is, I'm sure there's like init empty or something, right? Yeah. Beautiful. Cool. And so then I guess what we do is for every action that we get, we like update our state. Right? So we stay state. I guess it's like if action, like switch on action maybe here. Action, I guess maybe this should go inside this guy, right? So instead of set button press, we should say like push action. Wrong place. Right, there we go. And then this is like self switch on action. It's a digital thing. Then we can say self set button dir with the parameters in here. Perfect. Beautiful. And then if it's anything, if it's analog, we don't handle that right now, so we just ignore. Beautiful. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So we iterate the actions. It's just like for each action, it's like state, push action on action. Easy. And then we need to construct from the controller state a update, right? So we're looking for like virtual hid make event from state is the answer here. And this is going to return an HID event, and it will always return one now, and it probably will never fail, to be honest. Right, so it's like Linux UHID event, whose type is Linux UHID create UHID input to, I believe. Okay. Cool. And then what goes in here? There was an example. UHID example. Input 2. He doesn't have input 2. Fuck me. Okay, well then does he at least have in the header file input 2 definitions? It's literally just size and data. Sure. Not fucking difficult. Not fucking difficult. Size is 64. Data. I guess what we should do is we should just get the thing, right? Should we just be like data. Here's what we'll do. We'll do data is undefined. Size is controller state, or like whose job is this? Like what? I guess it's like S input something, right? Yeah. It's like this. Maybe like this. So this guy, S input report, has like a size field. Like this. And then we maybe... Wait, what am I doing? No, fuck that. What we should do is like to avoid as much like copying as possible, we can initialize this around an existing buffer. So we can go like init buff like this, right? And then we can say like if buff len is less than 64, this is a problem. Too small. But otherwise we're fucking chill. And then so we say like buff in here. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. So now we have this guy, and then we can memset buff to 0. Beautiful, 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 beautifuls. And we say return. Oh yeah. Alright, it's slightly better to do this. Okay, cool. Which lets us then, all of these guys are like this now, and that allows us to basically take the like packet that we're making here, and we can say like, yeah, this guy needs the size field still. Cool. And then we can build this thing. So var const ret is this thing. And then we could, or var ret, I should say. And then you could go like s input report init around this like UHID event. You like, you know what I mean? U input to data. Something like this. And now we can like manipulate the report however we want. So we go like state button mask. Is there like an iterator here? What does he iterate? Here are like reports. Was there no like set button pressed on this thing? We have set button pressed. Why is that not working? Set button pressed button. And then we're good. Maybe. Oh, oops. This is ret here. There we go. And then does it have to be an ampersand? Probably does. Beautiful. So then we have this event. And we write the event. Oh, event is used. Response, maybe. Are you gonna write the whole thing without running the compiler once? I mean, we're starting to run the compiler now. It's just, I like to get the shape of everything right first, you know? This thing needs to be S input report. I guess it is an S input report. That's ridiculous, but yeah, I guess that's true. That means this thing can technically fail, but this should never fail because it should be enforced at compile time. Why is this mad? Surely this can't fail. It can't. Switch button, else return. What's the problem? Oh, because this is, this just needs to be set like this. Okay, and then int cast on this. Are we winning? I feel like we're getting pretty close. Unable to cast runtime value to comp time int. Oh my god. U3, U7. Am I stupid? LHS of shift. Oh my god. And then expected U3. Yeah, true. Okay. So this is doing something. We don't know if it's actually working at all, but we can launch this like test controller thing now. Let's fucking go. We're close. A, B, Y, and Y is working. Y is wrong. X isn't working, but A and B are doing the right thing. Yeah, X is not coming in, so that is exciting. That is exciting. So can we stood debug print here, pressing this button? Who needs more keys? Yeah, it's like we didn't even make this so that we'd have more keys, you know? Pressing south, east, north, west. So according to this, he thinks is working. Our bit offsets here are wrong then, which is interesting. Because west and north here do claim that. Which is surprising, right? Why is it fucking that up then? Endianness? Yeah, but I don't think the endianness is like right for this. That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. Can we print the button state here? Can we just print like state button mask from 3 to 7, right? Like hello? Any here maybe? What's he mad about? Slice of not. Oh. This is not state, sorry, report. Data 3 to 7. Can I print it in hex? Does that work? Yeah, it does. Okay. So when I press A, the 0th bit is set. When I press B, the second, 8, 4, 8. 0, 2, 4, 8. So it's weird here that like, sorry, 1, 2, 4, 8, right? Which matches the description here. So maybe what's happening here is that when we copied their HID descriptor, we didn't say that we have the right amount of buttons. You know what I mean? Report count. Right, there's, well, no, because the UI of this thing is, oh, 1, oh, wait, 0, 1, 3, 2. Oh, so maybe it's actually the mappings in SDL. Because here we see the button IDs 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? But the mappings here are different. So this might be an SDL problem. Setup mapping. Yeah. So here it's like Y is Y, X is X. You know what I mean? Wait, hold on. Y, Y, X, X. Done. So now this is we're behaving the way I expect. Okay, that's interesting. So maybe this is something to deal with later, but like following the rules that this thing is claiming, then I think it should be fine. You know what I mean? I think it should be fine. So we'll just kind of ignore the mapping part for now and deal with it later. Okay. So now we need to handle, maybe we start throwing in like axis state here, right? So each axis is going to have a range or like a value, just a value. So this is going to be like an array of axis to I16, it seems like, is maybe our canonical space. I believe I already had some like axis remapping. So everything here is everything int 16. For the most part, yeah, I think everything here is int 16, all axes that I can tell. So really, we should just have like canonical range is return. Oh, I guess d-pads being -1 to 1 makes sense. And then this also makes sense. Actually, this is correct. This is just right. Right? These fit in I16s, right? Am I crazy? Or is I16 smaller than this? Maybe that's I32. I16 min. Okay, fine. Fuck. Do I have Python here? Fuck. No, okay, that is min. That is I16. Okay, that is 16. Perfect. All right. I guess I could have replaced these with stud math, min int, and max int as well, but that's fine. Cool. So we have like axes mapped to ranges, and when we pull in, when we iterate inputs from a gamepad, we do remap them to the canonical range, which is great. So we just need to remap back to like the desired range, which happens to be exactly equal to the canonical range. So I believe, how do I initialize this thing? Init default, everything 0, I think makes sense. I think that makes sense. So everything's initialized at 0. If we see an analog input, we do like params, axis, like remap, I guess. The params value from the canonical range to the desired range. And so it's like, depending on the axis, we need to have the like desired range. So I guess we are basically just looking at this format, right? And it's like, what are our axes? D-pads D-pads are handled differently. So thumb X, any like L thumb X, L thumb Y, R thumb X, R thumb Y. These are all like min max, right? So this is like min. What did I call? How did I define axis range here? Min max, yeah. So min is stud math. Is it max int I16 negative or something? I can never remember, because one of them you're allowed to have one larger, and I don't know if we should be handling that here. You know what I mean? I can never fucking remember. This is fine for now. I'm gonna put a fix me on here. Off by 1 on one side? Question mark. But like maybe you don't want that because maybe you want it to be symmetrical. You know what I mean? LT and RT. I feel like at this point you should just like make your own controller. Oh wait, yeah. I know. I deserve it. I deserve it. So I'm in a 0 on these ones, and then D-pad X and D-pad Y. These guys get actually passed in as we need to be different here. So I guess it's like D-pad X and D-pad Y are probably handled separately. It's like so D-pad X is switch on the value, I guess. And if it's like -1, then we are saying we want to like set the left button. Oh, no, okay. So this is still handled here, which is fine. We do the mapping later to buttons in the other state. Yeah, this is fine. In fact, we are actually not doing any remapping right now. We are storing them in the canonical range. There's no remapping to do here. It's literally just like action axis at this action. I guess we should put this code somewhere else though. This should live in set axis state or something in the input report handler. So I'm just gonna paste this here, and then we'll come back to that later. When we're storing it in the state, we literally just say like axis state at that's self axis state at set params axis to params value. We just store them in the canonical state. Easy. I was making this so complicated. Maybe we're storing them as I32s in the canonical world. And then now we go back to doing what we were doing here. So now when we're setting axis state, we get the desired range. I think this makes sense. So here we're iterating over all axes. Maybe this comes in like axis by axis. So here we're like switch on axis. Okay. So the D-pad stuff now we can handle this. This set button pressed needs to be at we need like a lower level version of this thing, which is like set button offset pressed, button index pressed, like this, which is like the later half of this thing, right? So basically like this. Yep. Set button index pressed at bit index, boom, or bit offset. And now the D-pad mappings can be like this. We can say, if switch on value, if it's -1, this maps to set button index pressed with the button index of D-pad left, so 6. 0 is nothing. 1 is right. So that is index 7. Okay, and then then we return. No more work to do for these. Same for D-pad Y, but we have up and down, so 4 and 5. Maybe we have these backwards. I don't care yet. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then these guys are then mapping to the desired range here. Perfect. So now we have a desired range, and we can say, like, basically depending on the offset of these guys, we're like looking for the offset for this axis, right? So yeah, let's go const byte offset is also depends on the axis. So D-pad X and D-pad Y are now unreachable. LT is 15. RT is 17. We got L thumb, left thumb X is 7, which means that the Y is 9. Then we got right X and right. So X is 11 and 13. Perfect. And then what are we missing here? Oh, just this. And so then we go like, is this little endian or big endian? I assume little? Everything's always little? I'm gonna assume little. Stood. There's like format int, right int. Here we go. So we're looking for an I16. Everything's I16 at data byte offset 0 to 2, and we are writing the value of value. Remapped is we need to do the remap. So access range remap the value from the source range. So access canonical range to the destination range, which is desired range. Cool. This should be an int16 with an int cast here. And then we can just write remap like this. That looks pretty good. What latency will this program add to your input? I do want to do that test eventually. I'm curious, because that is worth thinking about. I want to do like a reaction time and tracking test with the controller where we do raw input and then with this thing and see if we can see a statistical significant difference. I would guess like maybe not, but it is worth testing. I agree. I would think that like it won't matter, but it is worth thinking about. Okay, so now we have to, when we look at our state, when we make the event, we need to loop over all of the axes now. So this is buttons. And we need to loop over all axes. Var iter is state, axes state iterator. Dude, that's the craziest type I've ever made. While iterator next, we have some axis. We're trying to like report set axis state of axis dot key axis dot value. Okay. What doesn't he like here? Axis state to const iterator. Is there no iterator? That's so annoying. Whatever. All right, fuck it. All right. Else unreachable. All right. Return here because D-pad is on axis. True. This should be Y and 9. Don't know how we fucked that up. Comp time int. This should be a what? U32 U size. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Try here. No. Expected 4 arguments. What? Endian. Little. We're assuming little. All right. Let's see what happens. Tests. All right. So now we got left act joystick working as correct. Okay, so the right stick is triggering triggers, and the triggers are triggering the right stick, which is annoying, but like the values are coming in correctly. Start and select don't seem to be doing anything, so we need to map the rest of the buttons that we're missing, right? We're just missing a few more buttons, which is fine. Let's just map the rest, and then I think we will then, I guess it's time, there will be then time to look at the like controller mappings in SDL. Because, like, surely if we're doing the right report format, then, like, why the fuck is it showing something else? You know what I mean? And then gyro. So where's buttons? Buttons, 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 buttons. This is gonna be in, like, construction of the event, right? Set button pressed. Okay. So we just need to follow the rest of these. So right bumper is what? Right bumper, 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 bumper. 11. Left bumper is 10. We got left stick click. Does that exist in here? Ooh, 8 and 9 for right. We got select start minus plus. So select is 17. Start is going to be 16. Mode is 18. Do they have a share button on here? Maybe miscellaneous. Like a capture or something. Capture, 19, nice. And is that all of them? Are we missing anything? No, perfect. So just to make sure you're writing a driver that pretends to be a USB controller of some sort. Where does the dummy controller get its input from? Is it random? I have a controller that I want to remap into like a specific format, right? So that's where I'm getting the inputs from. Is I'm parsing one joystick, which I'm going to merge with like a mouse and a keyboard that are emulated from the same device, right? Gyro is exported as a mouse from this thing, so I'm gonna have to like read the mouse inputs and then feed those back in as gyro, and then paddles like get mapped to keyboard, which I have to map back to paddles. Okay. Does this work now? Okay. So my device, these things are being flagged as button presses, right? But share button is not. Oh, because the share button comes in as keyboard on this controller. Fuck, of course. Okay. So why is this wrong? Right, so they are using mapping like this. But why? Why? We need to figure out where this mapping is coming from. I guess it could be coming from like their game controller database. Maybe the default controller that we're using is like intentionally swapping buttons around. Right, because we are using this device. So can we look in like, they have like a controller database. Game control, like game DB. There's some gamepad DB. Do they construct it? Oh no, maybe it just lives here. Okay, so do they have vendor? Oh, maybe it's matching by name. It might be matching by name here. Can we look for 010C6? Yeah, that's not in here. 2EBA. No, okay. So can we mimic an existing controller? Maybe not. I guess maybe we just have to set up our own thing. Because I think that like it has default mappings. Like I know that like the Xbox mappings are like opposite from the Linux mappings. So it could just be that they're using like the Xbox mappings by default, and that's like fucking things up. You know what I mean? So maybe is there like a override for this thing that we can put in an environment variable so that I don't have to do it every time? SDL game pad mapping environment variable. I feel like this exists. game controller. Yeah, it's this. So we basically go into this tool, I guess, right? And we're supposed to like set up mapping and then like right, up, down, left, left, right, up, down, click, click. What is it doing here? Clear. A, B, X, Y. Left, right, up, down. Left, right, up, down. Click. Left, right, up, down. Click. Bumper, trigger, back, start, mode. This one doesn't exist, so can I skip this one? I think I'll just hit A again. And then, is everything right? It does look like now everything is exactly as you would expect. So now we just need to copy this thing and like export that somewhere, you know what I mean? So nvim work gamepad input mapping text should just be able to be pasted here. Perfect. And then if we run this again now, where we say, what was the environment? This equals cat work gamepad input mapping text. I think this should work. Perfect. Perfect. Left trigger, right trigger, XY. Yep. Beautiful. Beautiful. Cool. What? So I guess what we are missing now is we can now map the back paddles, right? Now that we have all of this, we can just easily throw in paddle mappings. Paddles. Right? So what we have to do here, I guess, is the paddles, we need to configure them in the Windows virtual machine to export some known set of keys. So I need to switch my fucking cable to the one that's passed through to the USB drive or the USB device that's passed through to the virtual machine. Open up my Windows virtual machine, open up this mapping software, click a button to get us into like magic mode. In here, set buttons. So we'll just put this to like keyboard 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? Okay, that's done. Unplug, replug into the right one. I think, can you look again in the terminal? I think the gamepad test you had the name of some device from terminal. Yeah, it did seem weird, right? Did you inspect the frame from the gamepad frames from Wireshark? I did. I did, unfortunately. I could not find any. So the paddles in Wireshark on the Windows device didn't do anything. Right? I confirmed that. Now, maybe in config mode they do, but I would have to like in config mode there is like spam of interrupts, but like not in anything that looks like obvious masks. You know what I mean? They're like the values are just like randomly changing, so they might be like doing some encryption, or maybe there's like some format I need to parse out a little bit more intelligently. But like, there's a possibility that you could like kick the controller into config mode, then parse the output. But it's just like it didn't seem easy. It didn't seem easy. This seemed easier. You know what I mean? Okay. So we should. So first of all, if I press these paddles, these are outputting 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Like we expect. So what we need to do is we need to make it so that we can consume this controller's input. This keyboard input. It sounds horrible. I agree. Don't get me wrong. I fully agree. I don't want to be doing this. It's like funny and good content, but it's also like frustrating. It's like this is the idea that I have to do this is so fucking stupid. Keyboard. Init keyboard. I wonder if we have to be doing anything crazy here. Or if we can go like maybe we don't even really need an abstraction for this. Like, what is the gamepad abstraction doing? He is like basically remapping buttons to like known outputs. So I guess we kind of do want to be doing this actually. We basically want to be, we need somewhere like a mapping of what keys go to what buttons, I guess, is what this abstraction is for. So we're gonna go keyboard. We're not gonna worry about axes at all, but we are gonna worry about button mappings. So this is gonna be like init gamester pat like extra, we'll call this. And he's gonna open this thing, he's gonna grab the output, and he's going to say that my axis mapping doesn't exist, but my button mapping will. So I'm gonna start at like key 1, and I'm gonna say that we have buttons now that are L4, R4, L5, and R5, right? Which these mappings don't exist yet, so we have to make them. L4, R4, L5, R5, right? Init gamester extra, we'll call it. So we are then going to register keyboard presses as a new thing that we care about. And so if we see these things, we are going to pull, I guess, these outputs. And so these outputs need to map according to the button mappings. So these are only ever going to output button. I guess it's going to be like output a button press. Yeah, so this is going to be like button, dir, right? Easy. And this is going to be related to some keyboard abstraction. We are basically only looking for keyboard presses, and like this is like exactly the same code. Fix me 100% duplicated with gamepad. Okay. So we're literally just doing this part. And I think this everything else just happens to be the same. Chill, 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 chill. I'm not worried too much about this right now. Is this broken in some way? What is he mad about? Because this is not returning keyboard. This guy wants to reference a keyboard, not a gamepad. Oopsies. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I changed the wrong one. I changed the wrong one. This one stays as is, and this one comes over here. Fuck me. Oops. Oopies. I'm an idiot. Okay. Keyboard. He's like, yo, what the fuck? I actually don't know why this isn't working. Unused local variable. Sure, I'm like fine with that. Why is the poll value not working? Okay, buttons. Yep, we need to map L4. So where are the mappings for L4, L5, etc.? Buttons, I guess. L paddle 1, L paddle 2. So 14, 15 for 1. And then it was 20, 21 for L5 and L6 and R5. Okay, easy. What's next? This guy's like, there is no poll in keyboard. Is it because I didn't rename? Yeah, I just didn't change the first parameter. My bad. Okay, that works now. So now we should see. Oh, he can't open that thing. We don't have permissions. Fuck. Hold. We're changing permissions. Dev input event 3. Unexpected Erno? On what? What is the backtrace here? On loop register, 828. Oh, keyboard handle here. It's already registered. Good point. Okay, so now if we reopen the controller config, we're hoping to see that the paddles show up on something. Hello? Oh, there we go. Paddles, nothing. Everything else is still working, but the paddles are not coming in as anything. So why the fuck not? You know? Why the fuck not? Are we opening the wrong device? Let's see, let's like log if we see something on the keyboard, right? Just like keyboard got some shit. Right, let's just see. And then on poll, maybe it's like the remapping that we're doing. Like, is this thing broken in some way? Stood, debug, print. We are printing these events, so we should see those at the very least, right? Keyboard got some shit, but we are not seeing the shit. You know what I mean? Like, he should be in this guy, seeing some events in this guy. The shit, right? Like, this should be happening. So maybe we're missing, like, num shits is n events. Okay. Okay, so he is seeing 3 shits? Oh, are we not? We're probably just not iterating the output. Like idiots. Are we just not iterating the output? Yeah, we're just not. Oops. While actions next. Action. Or this is the button, I guess. Or, yeah, res, maybe. Action is maybe the way. We say, like, state, set buttondir. Is this returning the wrong thing? Output. I thought we redefined this earlier. Did I redefine it in the wrong spot? I did. I did. This goes here. Okay. Button, action, dir. Okay. And then we need to make an event based off state after this happens. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So we see the buttons showing up here now when I press paddles 1415 and then the other paddles 2021. That is a huge improvement. But we need to like map the paddles in our mapping string now. Which we are going to have to like manually do. Which is possible, I just don't remember how. I don't remember how. There's like paddle. I guess we probably look in the STL source code, right? Gamepad DB paddle. Paddle 1, paddle 2. Yeah, paddle 1, paddle 2. Okay, cool. And then is our mapping string like tied to the numbers that come out of this guy? So if we go to like select, this is 17. Our select button is 17, right? So we should just be able to add in our mapping string like paddle 1 is 14, B14. Paddle 2 is B15, right? Paddle 3 is B20. Paddle 4 is B21, right? Like that should just fucking work. Test controller. So if I click on these now, oh, we're not running our program. We do need to run the program to run the program, if you think about it. Okay, click. Oh, beautiful. Paddle? Paddles. Beautiful. Easy peasy. So all that's left is the gyro. All that's left is the gyro. So let's configure the gyro. Hold. Hold. I need to plug it in, turn it back on, press a button. Okay. So motion. Let us have hold to turn on because it's going to be fucking spamming my mouse the whole time. Let's use R5 to turn it on. And do I want yaw? I probably want this. I want the axis to be rotating the controller this way. And this is output as mouse, no dead zones. Do we want aim or tilt? Probably tilt, right? If like we're trying to output this thing as a continuous position, tilt is going to map better to a position than aim would. I would assume that aim is like every report is like a mouse absolute position or something, right? So like movements in the gyro are creating movements in the mouse, where tilt would be like having the thing up would act like a move, would be like a velocity. You know what I mean? So tilt I think matches better. Hold to turn on, and the output as mouse. You want tilt. You want tilt. That's how I feel as well. I feel like I want tilt. Dead zone, fuck you. You know, we can do that in software later. And so, like, if I just plug this back in now, and I hold R5, I think I should start seeing, like, the mouse start to move around. You know what I mean? I guess I have to turn it on. Holy fuck. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the mouse is definitely moving. And it's spamming 4. Okay, cool. Cool. So now we need to, I guess, open the mouse as well, right? So in the same way that we did keyboard, we need mouse, which is going to be, I guess we have virtual mouse, we don't have mouse. So mouse is going to open some file. This is Init Gamester Extra again. And here we're not gonna have like button mappings, but we're gonna have like axis mappings, I guess. Right? So this is going to be each axis is going to map back to some axis like this. And I think that we'll see what axes come in. I don't really know right now. So we'll just kind of make this empty for now. But we are going to like end up looking up in here probably. You know what I mean? This thing does need to return a mouse. Good point. Presumably every mouse is just gonna have 2 axes. And so this guy's gonna like be related to some mouse. His output is going to be what? Like an axis and a value? Probably. And I guess for now, let's just return, like, let's just print out what happens. Let's also remove all of those logs from the keyboard side. Is this in keyboard? Yeah, it is. All right. So then we need to initialize a mouse somewhere. Which we have done. We are going to register the mouse with the event loop. And when we see the mouse, we are going to get some inputs from the mouse, and we are going to step them. Easy. Okay. Mouse, mouse. Agreed with everything you're saying, tilt being better. Yeah, we would have to like reconstruct it. We don't know how they did it, etc., etc. All right, where is we define pole? This needs to be mouse now. We need to chmod that thing. Dev input event 30, it looks like. I guess I need to LSL again. Yeah, event 30. Still no? Oh. And event 3, because I replugged it, I guess. Oh, but you, good point. Sometime before now, we're on Gyro. Alright. Okay. Mouse got some shit. Num shit 3. The shit, type 2. So, okay, I'm going to hold it, like, basically flat. And it's, like, very close to 0. If I go vertical up, it caps out at some point before I get to fully vertical. Same with horizontal. The horizontal cap is crazy. So how do I, like, reset it? Right? Like, is it, like, from wherever I press the button? No. So how do I have to, like, calibrate the gyros, surely, like, by putting it on the table, right? Surely? Like, because there's some, like, canonical straightforward position that it needs to know. And, like, it can't know that unless I calibrate, I would assume. Is it based off of, like, how it was when I plugged it in? Oh my god, it probably is. And then I want to, like, turn down the sensitivity maybe, right? I guess it's like there's nothing in here that lets me set the scale. Oh, this will be tilt, by the way. Right, I can scale it more towards horizontal or vertical. Oh, maybe DPI? DPI down, you think? Like this? Like move it to 25? And then I do think that that's very funny. I think I actually have to plug the controller in, like, perfectly facing forward for this to work, which is just like, what the fuck? Okay. Oh my god. Hold. I need to fucking set permissions again. Uh, luckily, they stayed the same as last time. All right. Okay. So hold. It looks like the gyro itself caps out, right? Like, now it's just capping out at different numbers, but it's still capping out, like, the same position. The good news... No, that's so weird. The, like, right movement... Oh, fuck. I forgot that I have to... Fuck. Chmod again. That is rather a bit rate here. That's a good point. You guys probably can't see what's happening at all. Can I make it more consistent? Let's try to reduce the printing. You're right. That is a bitrate eater. Ideally, the only thing that's logged is the shit. You know? Okay, num shit. And then there's a debug print that's printing the report data. Perfect, okay. That's still not great, huh? Still not great. Can we just rate limit this somehow? Yeah, because ideally we keep it so that, like, after the screen fills, it's, like, not moving that much. Oh, 4x or something. Event dot value. Like, is that how you fucking, oh my god. is like this in this language. Yeah, okay. Pressing. Fuck off. Okay, there we go. That's a little better at least. So we go negative 51 to positive 28 on the XY axis versus like negative 51 to positive 51 on the raw axis. Terminal escaping to clear line. Oh yeah, that's the play, huh? So here we go, like we just do both. We log like yeah. So you do something like every time we get this log, put all three numbers on one line. Well, it's only two numbers, and then also they come in like per iterator, so it's like a bit of a pain. I think if I just do this. No? Oh, because I have the new line on the other one. On the mouse output. Hold. We can fix it. No new line. Fuck new lines. Okay, there we go. Right, so left negative 51, positive plus 28. And then, like, if I start. Oh, okay, so every time I release and press the thing, it resets the gyro middle. So that's good. Ish. I don't think you want that, actually, to be honest. Because, like, the press to enable, maybe that's fine. It doesn't seem great, to be honest. And then the limit on the left and right is very strange. It's very strange. I want to go back to the configuration and see if we've missed something there. There's something about that's wrong. I wonder if there's like some calibration that I'm supposed to do just in general, maybe? Like maybe it's like for sticks. Do they have calibration here? No. What's this? Reset to default, button test. Hold M and start to calibrate. I want to calibrate motion. Okay, we are on a flat surface. I am not moving. Okay, success. You can now close a dog. Okay. What about sensitivity? Yeah, it did seem like the sensitivity was like locked. I might just be fucked. You know what I mean? I might just not have a choice. So back to that didn't like reset my options, right? It might be better to have some sort of press to switch and then leave it always on so that Steam can handle this in some way. It might be better to use aim mode because of the press to switch stuff. Right? Because when with aim mode, you'll always know. Like with aim mode, I wonder if it lets you go further up and down. You know what I mean? I would like to try aim mode and just kind of see if that changes anything. What DPI does? It seemed like it was changing like the min and max values of the tilt, but like not what those ranges were physically. That's how it felt to me. Okay, let's try this and just kind of see how it feels. Okay. We need to chmod everything again. Okay. So if I go up. Oh, wait, this actually does seem kind of good. So every movement is like kind of like a relative movement. And those relative movements like keep happening. It's hard to see because they keep resetting to 0. But if I like, every time I like jump the controller up, the y-axis numbers are like growing and shrinking. So maybe that is better. Because then, like, ratcheting also works really well, right? Because then I can kind of like go up, ratchet down, go up. Yeah, I think that this is actually what I want. The only problem is that now I will have to track gyro state internally. It really depends on what the axis output for gyro is in SDL, right? Because if SDL lets you do like relative movements, then this is actually kind of perfect. We can just feed these numbers through scaled, probably. Sorry for going over something I'm sure you explained a while ago. Does this not give actual motion data? Yeah. When emulating Switch DS4, it like can't. You are right that there is like a switch mode on this thing, but I don't think that it's like possible to get it to behave like that on my computer. Like it seems like it does some sort of like negotiation with the OS and like picks which mode it's in based off of the operating system. So like it's like somehow detecting that I'm on Linux, like the controller itself is, and I can't like force it into Nintendo mode. But that does seem like it would be better. Yeah. That is, I wonder if there's some way to force that. There's also like a toggle in the back, but if I switch this toggle, it does nothing. So I'm not sure. There might be some trick there as well. I wonder if SDL, like how does SDL map the gyros? I would love to look at the code there. So we have like hit and the wrong thing. There's like this like S input, HID API, S input. The wiki page I'm mentioning mentions holding home plus a phase button to force a mode. I think that is like the like a preset. I think. But like also there's like 400 of these controllers that all of their firmware acts like slightly differently, so it's like hard to know. But you are right. I will look into that after stream. I will. I don't want to look into it right now because I think it'll be a pain in the ass. But I do think you might be right. Oh, interesting. So there's probably just a difference between gyro and accelerometer, right? Like one of these things is the movement, and one of them is the position. I would guess one of them is like second derivative of the other, or first derivative of the other, would be my guess. So does this guy have gyros and accelerometers on this thing? Like what does this guy allow? Ah. Just confirm gyros typically degrees per second, not degrees? I don't know. This one says gyros degrees per second, acceleration is G's. So which one do I want? If I, every time I make a movement, see a value that seems tied to the acceleration, I guess these are like almost the same unit, right? Like degrees per second and G's are like, I understand that those are not the same, right? Because one of them, if I pick the controller up like this, will trigger, and one of them will trigger on this, right? So I guess we just have to figure out which one this is. So we can just easily tell, right? Is it on right now? So this is a vertical up and down, which is changing it. I believe that the rotation is like way more, right? So rotation is like capping out at like 100 there versus like up and down. It's like it's getting to like 20 in there or something, but the number's not getting very large, right? It's definitely more like rotation. I mean, it's still triggering, but not like nearly as much as on rotation. So we want gyro. And it looks like the unit is change per second, so we can just feed it in almost like directly. I think that's fine. Right? So in Steam, they have like a position mapping, but that position mapping must be owned by Steam, not by the controller. So I think that I just feed these numbers into gyro. The accelerator is used for tilt, as far as I know, because the physical nature of the sensor naturally includes gravity. Yeah, but I don't know what, like, yeah, determining orientation from gyro risks drift. I agree, but I don't know how else from this format that uh Steam would know. They both get used after the fact and cancel out. Oh. And we can't do that. Okay. So maybe I'm just gonna feed gyro X and Y and just kind of see what that looks like. Maybe it's impossible then for us to adapt this into a format that Steam likes. That might be the case. It might be. Because we only have access to like one output number. Yeah, okay. Okay. So we're gonna make some new axes, I guess. And we're just gonna have yaw and pitch. And I guess the unit of these things is important. So this is going to be, that's fine. Like yaw, diff, pitch, diff, right? This is going to be like a change from previous state. So yaw, diff, and pitch, diff are probably going to have like, let's just, I don't know, pick an arbitrary range. It's fine. I don't really care. I don't really care. I guess this is like, then we're gonna have like an input range that we're gonna have to configure somewhere. But that's okay. So for mouse, we are kind of looking to convert these things. So we're gonna like switch on the event. Code is which axis? Which I think is abs X and abs Y. Not, this actually sound like rel, actually. It sounds like that's probably what's being output here. I'm not sure. Let's just check. And then if we see yaw diff, we're looking for, I guess it's the same range as the thumbsticks. Yaw diff and what was the other one? Pitch diff. Been looking at the Android docs for this. So there's a good overview table of raw/process sensors. Nice. Control has one of these in it. Yeah, definitely. But we can't. With like this is like inaccessible to us, unfortunately. But I believe that you're right. It's like got one of these in there. I agree. I'll read this later, but it does seem nice. Okay. So the byte offsets for these things is, I guess we're using the gyro axes, right? So where was that? Here. Gyro X and Y, so 29 and 31. Which one's which? 29. Yaw, pitch, roll. Which one's which? I can never fucking remember. I can never remember. Pitch is Y. Yaw? Whoa. Yeah, yaw is X, pitch is Y. Yaw is X. Yaw is X, which we have as 29. All right. So then when we see the mouse, we are basically trying to convert this thing. So we are logging now. Yep, okay. So we do have the right thing, the relative values. And so we just have to convert these now into this is yaw. Yaw diff value is event.value, and we need to remap this, right? So we have like axis range remap, and we don't really know what the min and max are here, to be honest. So we're just gonna give like a little guess. Input range. We're just gonna give a guess. But I'm gonna guess like a min of negative 200 hex and max of positive 200 hex. That's just like somewhere around what my gut is saying. I wonder if this is gonna be like insane out of range, by the way. We'll see. So this is going to be from input range to canonical range. What is it? Axis range or axis yaw diff canonical range. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Pitch diff. Something like this. I don't know. Okay, so now, ideally, I guess we load the test thing. And ideally, we start to see like some axis movements here as like a result. But he doesn't know, he doesn't seem to like know that these axes exist yet. And I don't know if that's like a mapping problem. I think no. I think we're missing the actual like in the report descriptor. I think we have to say that we support these things. Right? So we copied this. Did we like say that we have gyro? It does seem like we did say that. Okay. Then what does SDL do to like determine if we have those things? I guess is the next question. S input hid API S input gyro. Okay. So he's looking for data 2 at 8 on the features response. Which we are probably just not answering. Right? This is, it doesn't sound like this is a, well, maybe, hold on. Features. Features is in, yeah, we're definitely just not sending this, right? So there's like the descriptor, but the features response is maybe more interesting. Right? Yeah. So here they are asking for features somewhere, and we're probably just not answering, right? So we can actually see that pretty clearly. Well, let's just remove all other prints right now because this is like fucking annoying. If we start looking at this again, right? So they're going to be sending us something somewhere. So here we need to open the test utility. And yeah, we see this UHID output here, right? So we should probably assume that that's like what's happening here. Because nothing else is like data, right? So we want to look at the output thing. So switch on rect type. If we see output, can we log the data? So we should be seeing like rec u output like this. And what's in here? Data, R type size. What is R type? What is R type? Wants some raw data. Oh, that's the event code probably, right? We saw in this guy somewhere, like output has command ID, so it's probably in there, right? Unless maybe it's like the first byte. It might be the first byte too. We don't really know. But let's just look. Okay. Let's just look. So we have output has this type. And then can we log the data too, maybe? Output has data, this stuff. Probably hex is probably a nicer way to log this. Rec u output data from rec u output. What was it? Data size or something? I don't fucking remember. Size. It's just size. Okay. So when I open this guy now, we get output 1, data this shit, right? So it could be haptics. Do we have like the this is like a large thing, how like a lot of bytes, right? So features sounds more like it, right? Like, is this 24 bytes long? Can we print the size? Data len. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? 48. Which weirdly does not seem like any of these. Seems kind of strange. Seems a little strange. Okay, what about the data in here? We see byte, first byte 3, second byte 2. I think we're gonna have to look at SDL source code, right? I don't think there's like a way about it. So process SDL features response. Like, how does he retrieve SDL features? Is this being called? Like, init device, retrieve SDL features. It sounds like it, right? So report command size is 48. Okay, so that lines up with the 48 we saw, I think, right? We saw 48, yeah, that lines up. And they are putting in the data of this thing the command dat 3. Okay, so the first byte is the report format, right? Because they have input joystick, input command data, output report. So it's got to be this, right? And then the other thing that they're doing is, oh fuck, I lost it. Features. So this is 2. So that's features. Okay, cool. So we just don't care. We almost like just don't even care about the R type. I don't know what this is, right? But we do care about the data, right? So we're looking at like data is this. Boom. If data 0 is not equal to 3, I'm like, I don't fucking know. I guess we have to do it the other way. No, we can just like it's yeah. Because like we're expecting that's fine. Sprint, I don't know. Unexpected output. Unexpected like UHID output, and then we do this. It's fine. That's fine for now. Deal with it later. Okay. So then the rest of the data is nothing? Like, this is not what he asked for. Like, we have to like respond to this thing, right? So do we just send it back? Do you think? Do you think that we just like write out the same thing back to them? Right? Output features with the data populated? let's see how I guess we have to look at how they get the response back, right? So they call retrieve FCL features, and then do they wait for the response back? Read the reply. So they read into this thing, and they're expecting command input command data. Oh, I see. So this is the response to the output, right? So they send us an input, we send them back with O2, and then with the same first packet parameter, then the data. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we're supposed to respond with var ret is going to be what? How large is the features reply? 23 bytes. But is he expecting like something of a specific size? Doesn't look necessarily like it, right? Like he's got a packet here, and he's just going to assume, I guess, that like maybe is he checking the length here? Dude, he's just fucking raw dogging that shit. That's crazy, no? That's fucking. Oh, he's feeding it into data though, so he knows that the data has used to be data packet length, and he's just leaving garbage data in there, which is like I guess kind of fine, unless this will mem set to 0, which it might. Right? So maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I think either way, we just get to rip whatever we want here. I think it's fine. So we just like respond with the features somehow. So this is 24 bytes. And I guess we just hardcode our features for now, right? So what is he expecting? That's the next question, right? When he parses the thing. Well, I guess we know so far, before we get distracted, ret0 is equal to O2. Ret1 is data1. We should check, by the way, if data1 is not equal to features, return or break block UHID output. We'll log here. It is like not features frowny face. And I guess here it's fine. If data len is less than 2, we'll say also needs to be data rec too small. Or no. Yep, okay. So then, what are they expecting for the rest of this thing? Protocol version, I think they don't care. Right? They're just writing it down. Is this used anywhere? This is literally unused. So we can just write anything. Do they say what we should write? Does this have a version? I'm just gonna write 0. I'm just gonna write 0. I don't give a fuck. Stud mem write int from ret 2 to 4. U16 0 little. Okay, what's next? Features. Features. So this is byte 0. So we want gyroscope supported. 1 divided by 3. Left analog supported. We want right analog supported. That's so true right now. 6, 7 as well. 6, 7, 6, 7. And then touchpad, joystick, the rest of this is zeroed. So it's fine. So this is 0, 1. All of these are offset, by the way. That's annoying. So this is, that's going to be a problem. Features is ret from 2 onwards. Like, we're going to get lost. You know what I mean? This is the, command response. I think this is just gonna get too hard if we don't. Oopsies. Command response 0 to 2. Command response 2 to 4 is going to be features. Cool. And then physical type is a single byte, which is, I guess, like, maybe we just write standard. We should probably comment these features as well, to be honest. This is gyro, left, right, LT, RT, right? Something like that. Something like that. Face style. ABXY, Xbox style, right? So we're at 1. Xbox style, baby. Okay. Sure. And then polling rate, it's supposed to be 1,000 hertz. It's supposed to be. So that's 1,000 US per ms at 1 hertz or 1,000 hertz polling rate, I think. This is 2, 6, 7. Shut the fuck up. Is this a U16? Yeah. It is. It needs to be 0 to 2 for it to, like, understand this, right? Yeah, it does. Okay. Cool. Accelerometer G-force range. Degrees per... Oh, we get to set the range of the gyro. That's huge for us. So this is 10 onwards. We picked, right? We said the canonical range was hex 200. Gyro sends range. But this, like, the unit is kind of fucking odd. So maybe we're supposed to, like, set it somewhere, but, like, whatever. Button usage mask. Can we just, like, return 0 for everything else? I, like, don't really give a fuck. You know what I mean? I just want to see, like, will this work? Okay? So now, once we have all this, we should just be able to, like, fucking rip the response, right? This is response u input 2 now data, and then this stuff is getting written directly into there. Great. And then can we just write the response somehow? It's like try stood io write all of this thing as bytes into our file descriptor. Something like this. That, like, might work. I'm not 100% sure that it won't work, which is, like, that's pretty good. Test controller. Okay. So, does he know about my extra axes now? No, he does not. So, did that fail, or what? Does it log? We might just have to write down what happens here, huh? Because, like, I think we're getting a little bit out of easy stuff. So what are we looking for? We're looking for S input, this guy, feature. Do we at least get the thing? Oh, he needs USB packet length, huh? He needs this to be USB packet length. Or else it doesn't parse. Okay. Okay. What did he say USB packet length was? 48? 64. So he wants this thing, he wants the thing that came in to be 64? Is that what that said? Yeah, he needs to be 64. He needs it to be 64. Fine. So size here, 64. We need to memset this thing then. Just rip that thing zero that bad boy out. Let's see what happens now. And then can we actually maybe add some prints here? Printf, writing, like, got something. I guess we can just start there. Fuck it. Make test controller. Do we see a got response in here? No. No, I do not, right? Which makes sense. So I assume that if I start moving the axes, nothing happens, which makes sense. So why the fuck not? Can we turn this on? That seems kind of nice. Seems kind of nice. Like, are we getting something at all? Open my device. Player, like, no? Is this hello? Can I print something at all? Printf, hi mom, I'm on TV. Like, is this happening? Make. Okay, this is getting run. I saw hi mom, I'm on TV here. Right? So here, I guess we're not getting the reply in time. Are we too fucking slow? We might be, right? Because he's only giving us SDL delay. Like, what is the unit of this thing? This has got to be like milliseconds or microseconds even, right? Okay, I'm gonna like up the range here. Just to see. Because I feel like... Oh, wait, this is... Yeah, I'm gonna give him more time. I'm gonna give him more time, just to see. Yeah, okay. So we gave him more time. Still no dice on the new axes. Okay. So he never got a response, which is interesting. Because I feel like here we should have written one out, right? Right? Like, surely. Why use magic bytes instead of constants? Because I don't want to I don't want to like type out the constants right now. Just fucking lazy. I'll fix it later. Right? Everything you see me type here is like going to be improved later. You know what I mean? Okay. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong here? Can we at least double check that we're writing the response? When we see output, we're not really getting mad anywhere, right? Can we right here stood debug print writing response? Am I forgetting like a thing in here? Data and size, right? That's it? Okay. Does this test program request Gyro? It looked like that it should at least like we're not even seeing the response get written, if that makes sense. Like whether or not he supports Gyro, we should be seeing or whether or not the how do I say this? The test app wants Gyro, we should be seeing at the very least the like response descriptor get parsed, which we're not seeing, right? We're seeing hi mom on TV, and then we're not seeing any logs indicating that like he has found this like response packet that we think we're sending, right? As far as I understand, right? So maybe red equals 0 here. And so like let's just double check here. Got a response, right? I don't think that this is getting hit. Yeah, right? He's just not getting it. So we are doing something wrong on our side. It has to be. Even though we're writing the response. Am I writing to the wrong device? VHID is what is coming in. VHID. I wonder if it's like that this thing is coming as an interrupt and we're supposed to write it into another field. Right? Like they have. If you receive a get report request, you must answer this request, which is different than output. This is if the HID device driver wants to send raw device on the channel. You should read the payload and forward it to the device. This may be received even though you haven't opened yet. Yeah, okay, so what are they calling in here? HID read timeout. Like, what the fuck are they doing here? Where is this fucking defined? Where is this fucking defined? SDL hid API.c. Read, what was it? Read, HID read timeout. Like, is there some sort of, like, extra shit on here? Device backend HID read timeout. I see. So this is going to be in, like, hid raw. Like, Linux something? Linux hid? Maybe? Read timeout? Yeah, here we go. So what are they doing? They are calling poll on the device, and they are literally just reading the device. So how the fuck is this not returning anything? How the fuck? Right? Okay, so I'm assuming all of this makes it sound like if I were to just press a button during this test, that they would start to see something. You know what I mean? Like, at least we'd see a log. Yes, okay. So by pressing a button, we are seeing something, which really makes it sound like we're sending the wrong fucking thing. That's just like, it really sounds like we're like not even sending it here, despite this, right? Is it possible that this is like returning invalid or something because the response I'm sending is wrong? Where are we sending like input events? We're calling make event, which returns a Linux UHID event. Linux UHID event that looks like this, right? Is that what we are doing up here? Response. Linux UHID input 2 with the size. Okay, so like what the fuck? Then when we send that thing, we're literally calling as bytes with ampersand response. As bytes, ampersand response. What the fuck? He's not erroring. So like, hello? How is this any fucking different? Yeah, it's so weird. That is so weird. I wonder if we like need to like queue it up or something? Like maybe we're not allowed to send it yet? But I don't know why we wouldn't be. Yeah, very, very strange. Can we just sleep here for a second? Do I have sleep? Stood, thread, sleep. Stood. Oh, nano sleep, I think is what's called. Yeah, from milliseconds. Like, let's give it like 200 or something. Like, I just am feeling like it's like missing it almost, or something. You know what I mean? So we were giving him a second. So let's see if this like improves anything. Am I being stupid and it's not? Like, I'm not seeing it. Something's wrong. I don't know what, but something's obviously wrong. I wonder if the thing's like... Hear me out? Wait, did that actually work? No. Hold. Run again. 1 Mississippi, 2... Yeah, I'm... I'm lost. I'm lost. What if... Trying to think. Because it's so weird. It's so strange to me that if we then press a button, like this works. So hear me out. Let's try something else here. Let's try doing this where we just write the response that we're writing on button press to see if that works. Because for something is not behaving the way I expect. And so like we know that that thing is being parsed if we press it. So like why the fuck, you know? I just did the wrong thing. Okay. Test controller. That is so much weirder. So if we send the normal response, he does immediately work. So I wonder if like the kernel is filtering stuff where the first byte isn't 1, right? Because this input 2 is supposed to model an interrupt, and like the interrupt is wrong. So I wonder if we're supposed to send like report reply instead? Or get report reply? If you receive get report, which is not really what we're getting. Yeah, there's... You're saying throw a null to try line 50? Yeah, I mean, that's not... I mean, it seems pretty clear here. That, like, the kernel must be filtering this. That's my guess. That's my guess. So can we look for... How do I say this? I want to look for the U input handling. Oh, wait. How does this handle output work? U input dot C. Input create U. What is it? Create to? Input to? UHID input to. Using null pointer and shorter field names may also make the code more professional and easier to maintain. Oh my god, I don't care. This is obviously scratch code. Shut up. Yeah, is this like somehow filtering it? HID input report. So why is this? Okay. HID input report in HID.c probably. It's probably just not compiled in or something. Great. There's too many HIDs.c. Where is this? This is not helpful. Great. Int HID input report. This is only going to be defined in one place. He is then Is he like, we're looking for something where he might be checking if the data is valid, right? That is what we're looking for. So here he's sending in, what is it? With data? Here. Data is the third parameter. So that's data here. Bro, it's just a suggestion. Your code is good. I mean, I'm just saying it's like a crazy. I really just don't care. Okay, so we're doing some BPF. We are checking if this thing's not allowed. We are trying to get the report for this thing. So data 0 is the report number. Which has a reports table. Huh. I mean, he's not returning an error anywhere, which is weird. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like from the perspective of us writing, he's succeeding, which is strange. Too short? Okay, there could be something there. Where maybe we have to extend the length for some reason. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Instead of writing the 2 here, what if I write 1? Just as like a just to see. Just to see. Because we think my suspicion there is that the non-interrupt values are getting like filtered out or something like that. So do we get that guy? We should probably only write 1 out, fuck. And then the other thing I want to look at is what is the size of the make event field? This is also 64. Okay, so the size of that thing is the same. Then, okay. Then what are we sending in the event here? In the first 2 bytes. That's the next question to ask. That's the next question to ask. So he's putting 1 in byte 1 and everything else he just doesn't give a fuck. Okay. Okay. So, does he get anything back here? We need to put some new lines here to see. No, right? He's not seeing anything. That is so strange. I mean, I'm just like... I feel like I'm missing something like so obvious right here. Like, somehow this line is like not writing the response I think it's writing. But I don't know like how that's the case. Because it's so crazy that doing this, where the type of response is the same as the type of response here. Like, why is this one working? What if we like start, we initialize the response? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. This is the point. That's to be a fucking pointer. Fucking hell. That's gotta be it, right? That's gotta be it. Fuck me. This whole time, I just didn't take a pointer. Fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. And then this is supposed to be 2. Hold. Fuck me. Fuck my life. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So does he think he has a gyro now? He does now think he has a gyro. Start gyro calibration. Doesn't know how to do that. So now the question is how do I make it so that the gyro output is going somewhere? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So now we've got the wrong output format, but he thinks it exists. Okay, so the input packets, when I'm like rotating this around, it's not doing anything, right? So it's most likely that our mapping is like insane. No, nothing. Can we log what we think that the yaw diff is? Or the pitch diff is easier. Okay, so those are maybe with like 0 to 255, to be honest. But then, like, what is the value that we're writing into this thing? Pitch diff is this, remapped this. Like, are we doing something stupid here? Could be. Could be. Could be. Alright. So those are getting to be pretty fucking big-ass numbers. But maybe the, like, range that the gyro wants is, like, insane. So when we defined in our descriptor somewhere what the ranges were, I am okay. Where would we define those? In the features response, right? Gyro sensor range we said was 200. Oh, but is that what we put? Hold on, that might not be the right answer. That might not be the wrong answer. Pitch range. Oh yeah, we said it was fucking. Yeah, we said it was I16 max to U16 max. So this has to be like 32767. Like, does that make more sense? No. Okay. Do we see anything interesting though in here? When I start wiggling this thing around, I don't see anything. It looks kind of like as soon as yeah, I don't see anything indicating gyro in here. Oh. Yeah, I don't see anything indicating any movement, which means our remapping just has to be wrong. It just has to be. So when we look for... Oh, you know what? We're not fucking putting that in the state. That would fucking do it. That would do it, huh? State, axis, push, axis state, set, action, axis to action value. That would do it, huh? You do need to fucking send the data you want to send, if you fucking think about it. Okay. Now that's looking like it does something. Oh! And we are seeing this thing move. It's like insane style. For sure. But the numbers are coming in. Yeah, the unit is supposed to be degrees per second, so we have to like rescale that like significantly. Like significantly. And the fact that only one axis is showing is a little bit weird to me as well. That's a little strange. But it's somewhere, you know, it's doing something. Okay. Hold. Yeah, everything's coming in on one axis, which is weird. Did we accidentally map both input axes to the same output axis? It's possible. Pitch diff 31, yaw diff 39. Okay. So... What did we say was? So... Yeah, I mean, I'm only seeing one number change there. I'm only seeing, this is hex 31, which is what? Something else. Oh, maybe these are decimal 31? So yaw diff is just never fucking happening. I wonder if it's the wrong units here. Stud debug print mouse code this. Like, am I fucking missing something? Event code. Maybe it's event code is not the axis. I think it is. Oh, fuck. Pitch diff. Oh, maybe we can just log yaw diff as well. Yaw diff. The fact that yaw diff is immediately getting set to 0 all the time as well is like a fucking problem. What's happening there? Oh, fuck. Event type. We should only be doing this in the case where it's like the right type. So this should be, what are my options here? It's like EV rel. Anything else, we just don't give a fuck. So we're just clearing the X movement every time. That's much better. And then if we look back at the gyro thing, the like test view, now at least we have 2 axes, right? Yes, they're insane values, but at least their 2 numbers are coming in now. So that's a good sign. We are missing now, like, making these things sane. Which is gonna, like, depend on, like, DPI of the input or something. So we probably need to, like, calibrate this. But for now, like, can I just increase the input ranges by an order of magnitude and, like, try to get something more sane to show up? Right, like... Yeah, maybe, like, maybe half it again. Which is, what is half in this world? Like 8. Yeah, I mean, that's still fast. Maybe double it. Maybe it's like 4 here. Those are starting to look like semi-sane numbers. Semi-sane. Right? They're like at least in the realm of like possibility. Okay. So I wonder what happens if I launch Steam now. I wonder what happens. Does Steam see it too? It'd be kind of fucking sick. Be kind of fucking sick if it did. Be kind of freaking sick. Steam settings, controller details, calibration. He does not. He does not. So we're missing a piece to hook up this guy, which maybe we can see via like, let's like reduce the spam here. Like, is Steam requesting something that we're not answering? You know what I mean? Just a UHID output. So he might be like a little bit more strict about when he shows up, right? We were concerned that you need to like have accelerometers as well as gyros for him to be happy, right? Because like he's tracking position, not just like movement. You know what I mean? So I wonder if we have to like specifically flag on the feature response. It was gyro. Ah, fuck. We're just gonna have to look. We're just gonna have to fucking look. What can I say? We're gonna have to fucking look. Like, can we just lie right for a second and say that we support all 3 of gyro and accelerometer feature flags? So it should be 2 and 3. Like this. Does that change anything? Does that change anything? Yeah, it does. Yeah. So the problem here now is going to be that he needs the accelerometer as well for this to work. But at least we have like we see this guy show up. That's very interesting. So Steam won't show anything unless both gyro and accelerometer are on. Or maybe only accelerometer. Maybe Steam wants accelerometer and he can like figure it the fuck out. You know what I mean? Let's see. No. Yeah, he just needs them both. As you guys were saying. So it's possible that after all of this, the idea of using this thing as like a gyro output, it might be fucked, right? We might have to go back to the idea of emulating a mouse. Because like Steam is gonna be doing all of this like crazy shit because he wants to know like the exact like 360-degree yaw pitch roll of this thing. And that's like not something that we can provide because if like what you guys were saying is correct, which I'm not really sure, is that the difference between the gyro and the accelerometer like is what you use to calculate these things. I've never like done the math here or thought about it at all. Right, because like I guess yeah, I can imagine that there's something there. So maybe it's not possible. Maybe we can be like get something that's like close enough if we just say that the accelerometer movement is always 0. There's like a world where that works. Yeah, maybe we can try that. We can try that. Which I think it already is, by the way. Right? The accelerometer should already be all zeros all the time. But maybe we didn't set the accelerometer like unit range. So maybe we have to set that somehow, right? They were saying somewhere the accelerometer g-force range here. Can we just write 10 like just write 10? Surely 10 G's is a lot of G's, right? And this is 8 to 9. Oops. Or maybe we just say go fucking buck wild. Okay. Does he like that? I mean, so oopsies, that's the wrong thing. So here he has gyros now. When I move these things, nothing is happening, by the way. I wonder if like we need to specifically like create SDL mappings for the gyros as well. Probably not, right? Because we should see like we were seeing them in the SDL output correctly, right? In this guy. Yeah. So that should be fine. Should be. Swap gyro cell looks odd in Simula. Yeah, I agree. You're saying maybe just like put the outputs to accelerometer instead of gyroscope? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try that. So when we create our mouse response, we set axis state. Oh, we should also probably be writing stuff out after we do that, by the way. So maybe there's a bug there where we just weren't putting out outputs. It's a possibility. Let's try again. Oops, the wrong thing again. Fucking idiot. This one. This one. Yeah, okay. So that still isn't doing shit no matter how much I move it. So there, that doesn't seem to be the case, but was worth a shot. Like, if you wave the controller around and it doesn't return dead center when you stop, is that a problem? You're gonna use 6 look around anyway. Yeah, I think that you're right. The drift might be fine. I agree. I agree, the drift may be fine. Okay, so where do we convert this? It's what we call make event. This guy is looking at axis state, which is mapping the yaw and pitch diff to specific guys, and you're saying maybe we try throwing those into the accelerometer offsets instead, which is 23 and 25, which might be like way fucking off, by the way. YOLO, yeah. Okay, so we first try this guy to make sure that when I do this, we are seeing just like insane movements on the accelerometer. Perfect. Bring back, open the device calibration settings, gyro calibration. Oh yeah, there we go, baby. That's fucking going fucking crazy. Interesting. So again, just like order of magnitude fixes, right? Uh, like, uh, okay. We're just looking for, like, something that doesn't look insane. That's all we're looking for, right? I mean, those are insane numbers still, in terms of meters per second. Right? Like, maybe that will, like, at least result in something that's, like, usable in the Steam controller settings. Uh, I feel like maybe we want to set both somehow and keep the unit sane. I don't know. Because, like, this is doing something. It's also interesting, the accelerometer here, we're definitely seeing movement here, where we like, I don't really think I ever saw that when we were doing gyro instead. Was I? Was I? You know? I'm not really sure we were ever seeing that. Right, like, it seems like we should be seeing something here. Can we crank up the values here? Like, let's just go fucking crazy with it. 10 times stronger. Double check that, like, when I run, what was it? Tests controller 5. Yeah, like, those gyro values are coming out big time. Yeah, I think that there's something wrong here, right? Like I think I need to look at the math maybe a little bit here to, like, try to understand what the difference for these things is supposed to be. Calibrating. Let's see what this does. Like, nothing. Yeah, I suspect I have to understand the math a little bit better. Cause, like, I don't know how to, like, make this do something, you know what I mean? Um yeah, I think I'm gonna do the math a little bit, but, like, the idea is sound. I think, right? We have, at the very least, the buttons mapped into this output style, which is pretty sick. Pretty sick. Also, Steam's not seeing the paddles, but I guess Steam isn't running with my mappings in place. So I would like to just double check that as well while we're here. Might as well. That if I, like, launch Steam with the same, like, SDL game controller config thing, like, does that work the way I expect? I should turn off my screen capture while I'm doing this. Settings, compatible controller. This is the wrong one. My device, test device inputs. Yeah, so there's something wrong here too, where, like, despite the fact that SDL is getting the paddles, this is not. Set up device inputs. Maybe I paste from the clipboard to make this work. Cat this XLB paste, yeah, paste from clipboard. Yeah, so there's something wrong here too, where this guy, like, hello, like, why are we not seeing this? Oh, is it the Oh, I remember pasting into the config file manually before, by the way. That's, like, familiar. Steam, config. This, like, I remember seeing, like, a my device in here. And can we, like, just kind of hard paste it in here instead? Like this. What is this? Is it a string? Looks like it's a long string already. So it looks like I should just be able to like go like this. Fuck the CRC. Something like this. Then if I run Steam again, maybe. Maybe. Hold. 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 Still no, fuck me. But at least this time, the trigger, like the buttons are kind of at least somewhat working. Only some of them, by the way. So, something missing here as well. That's funny. Yeah. There's something wrong here. But at least we know that wherever the fuck we were using it in this SDL stuff is working. I think I'm gonna have to do some debugging on this side, but I think at the very least, faking out the S input API is doing something. It's doing something. Let's call it for the day. YouTube, peace. Twitch, let's find someone to raid.